Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be doing an Amsoil engine flush and oil change on this 2011 Nissan Altima. It does have the 2.5 4-cylinder, and what we're going to be using, we're going to start off with the engine flush. It's going to clean around the piston rings and everything and just help us to start clean. Now this car actually has Amsoil in it, but what's happened is we had a cooling system issue where the car was overheating, basically the thermostats. You can be sure to subscribe and check out that video as well, where we did the cooling system on this car. But so with the engine running extra hot, and the owners actually let it run way overdue on their oil change because they weren't sure if they were going to keep the car or get rid of it or not. So needless to say, we could just drain and fill, but we're going to go ahead and throw the engine flush in just to make sure we're all nice and clean. And then what we're going to be using is the Amsoil 100% synthetic. It's 5W30, and we've got the EA 15K12 oil filter by Amsoil, good for 15,000 miles or 1 year. And this oil is actually good for up to 25,000 or 1 year in quote normal service, which would be like highway only driving. So 15,000 1 year, 700 idling hours. Good. All right, so you go ahead and add it in. And this is a detergent-based engine flush. It's not as harsh as, say, a solvent-based engine flush. Amsoil used to have one that was, I believe, mostly kerosene, and so this is a new style engine flush, detergent-based, and I never had any problems with the original one. I used that many times when I would first switch a vehicle over to the Amsoil synthetic. While it's not necessary to do this, it just helps you to run, to start clean, to start with a clean engine. And what we'll do, we'll take this out, put the oil cap back on, and we'll idle the engine for 10 to 15 minutes. And make sure you don't put the engine under any kind of load or try to drive it, but you just you let it circulate and clean, and then you drain your oil and filter, and you're starting fresh. And now we'll just start the vehicle, and it will circulate that engine flush, and it'll clean everything out and help us to start fresh. Like I said, they didn't know what they were going to do with the car, so because they were having the problem with the cooling system, they kept postponing the oil change. So I haven't looked, but it's probably been something like a year and a half. So probably, 6 months past Amsoil's recommendations. The oil could still be fine, but you had a hot running engine and overdue on an oil change, so we'll go ahead and flush it out this way. And be sure to subscribe, guys, and share the video if this is stuff you're interested in. And I will have a link down in the first comment, and that's going to be links to the products I'm using and my website and everything. Guys, so we've shut the engine off. This thing is going to be super hot after idling, and so wear some gloves and be careful. I don't know what size the standard Nissan drain bolt is, because this car has a gold plug in it. They are super strong magnetic drain plugs, and highly recommend them. We'll take a look at it here and see if there's anything on it, but yeah, if you just go to goldplug.com, I think they're also on Amazon, and so they are very strong magnetic drain plugs. Wow. I don't know if you can see the drain plugs actually stuck to the pan there. That's how strong the magnet is. So that can also help with not dropping your plug into the pan, but I'm going to pull it out here. There we go. Woo. Ah, and then I drop it, of course. Anyway, we'll fish it out of there. Let this drain really well, and I have the car raised a little bit in the front on ramps so that it will go toward the back, and just to get all that engine flush out of there. It's not a problem if you have a tiny amount left in your oil, but you know, you just want to get a complete drain as much as you can every time you do it. So, but I'll probably go and have some lunch while this drains and fish that plug out of there. Probably just stick anything you know, metal in there and it'll grab onto it. Let's try this ratchet handle. There it is. So I'll show you this a little more up close. Yeah, I just see a little bit of black fuzz. I don't see anything alarming on it, so that's good. That's what you want. But it pulls that microscopic iron out of the oil. Every little bit helps, you know. Premium oil, premium filters, and magnetic plug. The next step up would be something like an Amsoil bypass filter, where you it's a secondary filter that goes down to 2 microns, and oil passes through it very, very slowly. Just a little bit of oil at a time. It's not you can't filter oil that slow and still send it through your bearings in time. They would be starved. That's why you have to have a full flow filter, and its filtering efficiency is limited because it's also got to flow a lot of oil quickly. Alright, so let's get our filter here, and this is easy access right here on the this is the passenger side front tire, and I have a wrench of this type. I got this from Amsoil, so you can also find that on my website if you want, but I'm sure you can grab one anywhere, and there's different kinds of filter wrenches available. I like these kind, but sometimes because of clearance issues you need a different style. So yeah, we got it loose now, so it's gonna start dripping. Yeah, it kind of makes a mess the way this is designed. I'm blocking the view there, but see if I can get this off, and then there we go. Yep, got the Amsoil EA15K12 on there. Like I said, this car has had Amsoil in it for some time, and even though it was used for much, much longer than is recommended, look at that. I mean, there's no sludge, there's nothing built up. I mean, you know, this is why I use Amsoil, is because it's over-engineered. It's a, that's the thing, it's engineered. It's a chemically engineered synthetic oil. It's not the cheap hydrocrack petroleum base. It's a true synthetic, and the additives, the chemistry, it's what they do. It's, you know, they're the first automotive synthetic oil, came out in 1972, and so it is over-engineered, and it's an amazing product. I talk a lot about the extended drain capability, but guys, honestly, just use it because it's the best protection for your engine, even if you want to change it more often. I mean, the extended drains are just a fringe benefit. The main thing is the protection. I say use the best that you can, protect your investment. So I just wanted to give you guys another close-up on this very well used oil filter that just came off the Nissan. You see down in there that orange, that's a silicone anti-drainback valve, and a lesser quality filter may not have that at all, or it might have a low quality one. And what that does, that helps keep the oil in your engine, because this filter is mounted sideways. Every time you turn the engine off, it keeps the filter full of oil, so you've got oil ready to go on startup. But you know, it holds up well to heat and extended usage. And you can see, I mean, there's no sludge or anything here. This is, you know, this oil is like dark brown, but it's not black. There's no sludge. I mean, just, you know, so it's really good. I don't know if you can see down in there, there's a blue thing. That would be your pressure relief valve. So if the media was plugged, it would bypass and everything. But these are really good filters, so there you go. Alright guys, so here's the back of the Amsoil Signature Series bottle. API SP, resource conserving, SN+, all that good stuff. Dexos, all the specs. This Amsoil, the Signature Series, this is the top shelf synthetic. It's not API certified, and there's many reasons for that. You can go on the website and learn. One reason is this blows the API specs out of the water, so it's not even worth it for them to pay to certify this. There are less expensive Amsoil varieties that are API certified, so if that's something that's important to you, just go look at that at the website. I'll have my website down in the first comment below, number1synthetic.com. But anyway, so yeah, and those lower price ones are not engineered for the 25,000 or 1 year, but they're still very good, very excellent synthetic oils. But the Signature Series, we're going to go ahead and prep the filter by pre-filling. These Amsoil filters are 99% efficient at 20 microns. So it's a really good filter. And like I was showing you before, now this one's actually the redesign. So it's actually got this nice grip coating that's on it. So the one I just took off didn't have this, but it's a nice textured coating, but still 15,000 mile oil change. And so it's got a little bit different plate on it than the last one, but still got that orange anti-drain back valve, and that's going to prevent your dry starts. So go ahead and crack this open, and I like to pre-fill. To each his own. Some people don't, but I'm only going to do partial because this filter is mounted full sideways, so I don't want to waste a bunch of oil. But we do need to get the gasket here a little bit. So I'm trying to film this myself. Man, this has been a crazy year, so I hope you guys are enjoying your Christmas season, your holiday season. And I know a lot of people have lost jobs. I even know there's people at my church that have lost jobs, and or their hours are so severely cut. So I pray that we can get through this and you know, definitely you know, reach out to the proper channels. That's another good reason, you know, to be in a good church is, you know, God's people taking care of each other and meeting each other's needs. And I can definitely say that about my church. It's been good because I've been on both ends. I've been on the giving and the receiving end. A few years ago I lost my job, so just another you know, when God changes somebody's heart, you know, generosity is something that just flows naturally out of that. Because as a sinner before God, we know that we deserve God's judgment, but because of what Christ has done on the cross, we can be forgiven through repentance and faith. We turn from our sin, we turn to God, and we put our trust from whatever it was in before, which is, for most people, we trust in our own good works. We think that if we do enough good works, we're going to be good enough to be accepted by God. But that's you're sadly mistaken if that's what your thinking is. And we all have that natural bent, but see yourself as guilty of breaking God's law. Look at the 10 Commandments and realize that if you haven't broken them outwardly, you've broken them in your heart. I know I have, and so I'm thankful for Christ and what He's done. But where I was going with this is, when God truly has worked in someone's heart generosity and love toward others, and especially other believers, is one outflow of that. And so it's good to be a part of a church where people are true and genuine and definitely want to help each other and others. So thanks, guys. Have a good Christmas. Alright guys, I'm going to try to hold this by hand and put the new filter on. And we did oil up the gasket. Just take your time, do it right. Oh, I wanted to talk about this, about changing your own oil. I mean, there's so many reasons to change your own oil, and saving money and all that, whatever. But knowing that it's done right, I think that's the main thing. I mean, not everybody's going to take as much care to thread things on properly, not over tighten them, and it's just something that you can do and you can know it's done right. Now obviously, if you have a good mechanic you trust, then that's a wonderful thing as well. And a lot of you would like to use Amsoil, but you don't know who would put it in for you. Let me get this a little tighter. I always do my filters hand tight only. But I like to get them, pretty good and hand tight. And then I'm going to clean this up, some brake cleaner or something. But yeah, just talk to your mechanic or your oil change shop, and most of them will install the oil and filter that you bring. And so that's another route you can go. I'm going to get a better grip on that off camera and get it nice and snug. Alright, so that's the old crush washer, and that's the residue that I wiped off the plug. A little bit of iron there, fuzz, definitely nothing large. If you saw any large chunks of metal, you would have problems for sure. But yeah, that's just a little bit of fuzz, not bad for the extended time that this oil was in service. And so here is the gold plug all cleaned up. This, oh, by the way, I can show you exactly which one. So it's an AP, what does that say, 03? AP03, looks like, is the correct plug for the 2011 Altima 4-cylinder. And I did install a brand new crush washer. I think it's a good idea. I know not everybody agrees, and you could probably get away with reusing them, but it's best if you can go ahead and do it. So magnet's all cleaned up. This is a super strong magnet. Let me just show you. I mean, there's a socket. It picks that up no problem. Let me see. I know there's another guy, Don Smith, and he demonstrates that they can pick up wrenches and stuff. I mean, this is crazy. This ratchet, this is so heavy. This ratchet, this is a big old 1/2-inch ratchet, and that gold plug magnet picks it up. So there you go. That's a strong magnet. I'm not a dealer for these. Maybe I should become one at some point, but anyway, I think anything you can do to protect the engine is going to be worth it. So AP03, you can go to their site, or I believe these are on Amazon. So we will get it in there, torque it down. Torque specs at my website under this vehicle, look it up. But honestly guys, I just use my head. I know I'm crushing this washer, but I just I just do it till it's tight, and I don't overdo it. So there's my gold plug back in, new crush washer, and I tightened it in there, hit it with some brake clean. So we'll go ahead and fill up. Alright, Jesse's got our Amsoil 100% synthetic 5W30, and he's going to add the first quart. This is actually the one I had open to pre-fill our filter with. You got it, buddy, or you need a hand? Good job, wow. 6 years old, pouring oil. Yeah, put in that.
Is this Amsoil?
It is Amsoil. If I'm putting something other than Amsoil in an engine, you probably should get my head examined and see what's wrong with me. Good job, buddy. All right, yeah, we'll let it drain while we wait for Gabe. All right. Okay, Gabe's got quart number 2 going in. Yeah, it's a lot easier to do with a funnel, especially because this fill hole is so far down in there. So, a lot of times I pour without a funnel, but on this one it's way down in there with this engine cover. Oh, the other thing is, I mentioned it in the previous video, we had all this off because we were changing the thermostats when we did the coolant. Go ahead and subscribe and check out that video if that's something you're interested in. But while I had this off, I discovered that there was an oil leak on top of the engine, most likely due to the PCV valve having never been changed. So I cleaned the old one, put it back, but we have one coming from Rock Auto, so we'll get that in here as soon as we can. While Jesse's adding quart number 3, I just wanted to show you, formulated, blended, and packaged in the USA. This is a little bit older bottle, but Amsoil is, you know, it's an American company, Superior, Wisconsin, and they do not use outside companies to bottle and blend and mix their products. So, and another thing I just noticed, Honda HTO-06. So there's a lot of specs that are, you know, Amsoil just continues to impress me, and with all the specs that it meets and exceeds, and definitely check out on the website. There's some performance testing of the oil. So this engine calls for 4.9. I always just dump 5 in with the filter change and it's good. So, but officially it's 4.9. All right, buddy. Gabe, you want to do the last one? Yeah. Careful, bud. Careful. Good job. Good save.
Can you tell this is my son?
This is my son, Jesse. He's 6 years old. And this is my son, Gabe, 9 years old. And I got the little girl, Rosie. Very proud of my sons. The Bible says children are a heritage of the Lord. And the fruit of the womb is like arrows in the hands of a warrior. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full. Woo. Alright, so if you're looking for this stuff, it's easy to get. You can go to my website, numberonesynthetic.com. There's a link down in the first comment. I'll have links, direct links to these products, and you can look up your vehicle, type in the year, make, model, and engine, and you'll get a list of the products Amsoil recommends. If you don't mind, there's my dealer number, 146-3115. If you go through Amsoil.com, it's going to ask you for who referred you, and I would love if you would put my name and or dealer number. That dealer number is probably the best thing, 1463115. But I appreciate it, and we're going to go ahead. This is the last bottle draining, and we'll go ahead and start this thing up, back it down the ramps, and after a couple minutes we'll check the level. Where's Jesse? Oh, he's down there somewhere. Alright, so we're ready to start up. We got our 5 quarts in. Let's see how it sounds. We'll check for leaks underneath. Let's see what we got going on here. I hear a slight vibration, but if you look right here, I think this engine mount is, I don't know if you can see it, but this rubber engine mount is kind of cracked. I don't know where it went. You can't really see it. Might need the flash on. My phone is getting really low. But yeah, it's quiet down already. So no leaks. I bought a filter which is under pressure. No leaks, looking good. And so hopefully we'll keep this Nissan going many more years. There's our coolant drain. Like I said, subscribe and check out. We just did a coolant change on this car, and that was an ordeal because I had to change the thermostats, which there's 2 on this engine, and I also used a vacuum type cooling system refill tool. So anyway, and I'm going to check the battery here while it's charging. You got it. Alright, so it was 12.75 before I started the engine, but now I want to check it just for fun, see what this alternator's doing. That seems kind of low. 13.1. Normally I'd be looking for 14.1. 13.1. They might want to get their alternator checked, because I'm usually used to seeing 14.1. So anyway, I can let them know. But alright, let's back it down the ramps and see what we got. Alright, engine's been off for a few minutes, so we'll get our final check. Take it out, wipe the stick. And go back in and see where we're at. Alright, if you look at it, it's actually a hair below that right there. So 5 quarts, in my opinion, is good, because you're right there. Like I said, it calls for 4.9, but so alright, this one should be good for another year, up to 15,000 miles. And thanks guys. If you want to check out Amsoil, the links will be down in the first comment. Oh, I keep forgetting to mention this. There's always like different free shipping promos. Normally it's $100, you get free shipping. Right now it's $49. So December 2020, go to the website, and the code is there. It's in the Amsoil online store there. And again, if you want to help me out, put my dealer number, 146-3115, Michael Troll. Thanks a lot.